Mr. Deputy Speaker. Of course, I listened very carefully to the Honourable Minister of Health, or Health and Quality of Life, and there are, in the amendments being proposed, positive things. But let me say that, and when I use such words, it's just what Honourable Ratna has just said. A stepping stone, he says. I say that this has been une occasion ratée. I'm very sad to say that, but it is a fact. This, what we are doing, after 20 years, is une occasion ratée. I was leader of the opposition in 1998, and there was a very powerful debate in the House here. Because, as several members have said before me, the Lunacy Act went back to the name itself, the appellation itself, Lunacy Act of 1906. So in 1998, when late Honorable Diyapal Singh was minister and I was leader of the opposition, we were doing away with a piece of legislation 90 years old. We broke new ground. We did great work in 1998, I must say. Government and the opposition together. Great work. But now we are 20 years later, 1999, it came into operation. 20 years later, the issue of mental health care deserves better than what it is. Well, there is progress, but we deserve better. It is une occasion ratée. I believe that 20 years after we adopted the Mental Health Care Act of 1998, that came into operation in 1999, that was the occasion de faire, as we did in 1998, mais de faire un vrai bilan. 20 years later, where are we? What progress we've made? What remains to be done? And this is l'occasion ratée that I'm talking about. I mean, but at the same time, I listened, for example, to Madame Monti, Honorable Madame Monti. Congratulations on her speech. And it brings me back to 1998, because stigma still exists, as she said rightly. But go back 20 years and we have progressed. 20 years ago, the stigma about Bransecod, envoyez ça Bransecod, it's still with us. There is still stigma. I don't agree at all with the lightweight words used by Honorable Senator. Stigma is still there. Very painful stigma. Those who have known, who have had members of their family included in that category of human beings, the stigma is still there. But we have progressed, let's acknowledge. 1998 seems centuries ago. I have always said, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, probably the best way of measuring how civilized a society is how it treats its people with mental problems. This is probably the best test. How, even the expression used by Honorable Ratna makes me uneasy, unsound mind. There is a lot of suffering in mental problems, a lot. We have progressed, but there is still stigma, there is still a lot to be done. We're doing some good things with these amendments. But I repeat, I believe that the best way of judging how civilized a society is how it treats its people with unsound, entre guillemets, unsound minds, Mr. Speaker, sir. Therefore, we've missed the occasion, I believe, de faire un bilan après depuis 1998 up to today. We've missed the opportunity. I hope we don't miss it for too long. We could have also used this opportunity like we did in 1998 to look at the quality of services that Brown-Séquard and other hospitals, but Brown-Séquard mainly, are providing. Here again, I must say, the first time I visited the old Brown-Séquard, I've spent a lot of effort in Parliament, in government, to have the old Brown-Séquard hospital replaced. I always remember my first visit to the old Brown-Séquard hospital. Patients locked up in a jail avec des barreaux. In those days, the abuse of electrical treatment, electrical shock treatment. Yeah, when I think of all that, we have traveled a long way. We still have a long way to travel. But we have come a long way since 1998. But the suffering is still there, the stigma is still there. We are missing an opportunity today, but we are progressing, Mr. Deputy Speaker said. So I think we are missing also an opportunity to review the quality of service. We have progressed, especially in Brown-Séquard. But there is a lot to be done to improve the service that we provide to people with mental problems in Brown-Séquard especially. I believe we missed the opportunity also of reviewing, well, the explanatory memorandum says to enhance the legal framework for the proper functioning of mental health care. But we are not reviewing thoroughly enough the very definitions in our law. We are adding some definitions, rightly so. Congratulations, and I'll say a few words on that. But the definition of mental disorder is archaic. The definition of mental disorder included in the 1998 Mental Health Care Act, dépassé. This was an opportunity to modernize. A lot. 20 years is a lot of time. The definition of security also is dépassé. D'abord, I believe that c'est une occasion ratée. We are progressing, but c'est une occasion ratée also when we look at the legal definitions. It's a good thing that we are introducing a new category, a new definition, stabilize. It's not a very nice expression, but it means what it means, stabilize security patients. This is progress, yes. Before, indeed, people spent their life, we must say, locked up in Brown-Séquard. So there is progress. But we could have done much better after 20 years in not only reviewing the facilities provided, but in reviewing the legal definitions that are to be found in our law also. We are keeping the board. I am given to understand that the board that stays there, the board, it's there, and of rubber stamp for the ministry. There's no big change there. There is big change as far as the commission is concerned. Before it was in the plural. I've inquired why, because they were supposed to be different mental health institutions. Therefore, there was a low-key commission chaired in those days. Now it's upgraded. The commissions in the plural were chaired by a public officer holding the office of regional health director. So this is changing fundamentally. Now we have one commission chaired by a magistrate or the equivalent. I find progress there also, and they have a lot of responsibilities that I'm sure they'll exercise as they will have to. I'm a bit uneasy how things are going to work out between the revamped commission and the management, or rather managerial committee. It's not very clear, but we'll see as time goes by, as the managerial committee is created and goes to work. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, I repeat, we are making progress. We have made a lot of progress over the last 20 years since we voted the legislation of 1998, 1999. But we'll never do enough to help people with mental problems. It's been something of an obsession with me throughout my life. Physical problems, a broken leg, you cure it, you treat it. But mental illness is something very difficult to understand and to treat. Therefore, we are making progress, but I believe that this could have been a much bigger opportunity, une occasion ratée. As I say, I'm not saying that méchamment, because as I said, we are making progress. I listened to the minister carefully. I talked to my good friend Arvin Boulel. I don't agree at all with the stand taken by the PMSD on this piece of legislation. Une occasion ratée, we could have done much more, we should have done much more. But we are doing some good through this piece of legislation. We will therefore vote. We ask the people who will hold places of responsibility in the new setup to do their work, and I don't know in how many months, in how many, I hope not years, but yes, we need, and I think there is agreement on that, because the last government orator, Honorable Ratna, went so far to say that this is a stepping stone. It's saying the same thing that as we are saying. We are progressing. There are good things. C'est une occasion ratée, according to me, to have, we could have reviewed the whole thing after 20 years. C'est une occasion ratée, but we shall vote this piece of legislation en attendant mieux dans un prochain avenir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.